Hey guys, Chris from Portable Beast Audio Installation, and in today's video we're replacing the factory doubled in on this 2001 Toyota 4runner. Now in this install we're going to show you how to remove your factory radio. We'll head to the bench, show you the new parts that we're going to be installing, including the radio and wiring harness adapter, and we'll come back here to get everything reinstalled. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by Alpha Epoxy, your professional epoxy coating service provider, installing quality coatings for home, garage, and commercial spaces. They did a fantastic job for my new shop, and they can do the same for you. Located in Salt Lake City, Utah, give them a call to schedule your quote today. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this radio removed. Now we're looking down here at the gear shifter because that has to come out first. Once that comes out, then we can remove the bezel up and around the radio. Now I do have a vinyl panel tool here. Which is basically we need to get up underneath and start working this panel loose. Just like that. Now it doesn't have to come all the way out, just enough, because that's now going to give this the clearance to pop the upper bezel out of the way. Next here, I have my panel tool. What we're going to do is start working this main bezel out. Alright, just like that. There's no screws holding it in. It's simply all held in with clips. Now you're going to have a few various harnesses connected to the bezel. Disconnect those harnesses here. Most of them have little tabs that you press in and the harness will come free. Now if this bezel gets in the way, pull back the gear shifter here. Alright, so we disconnected all our harnesses here off the back of the bezel. Make sure your cassettes and your CDs are out of the unit before you remove it if it's still factory. You're going to have 4 bolts, or you can use a Phillips driver to remove, securing the radio in. Alright, so we removed those 4 screws. Go ahead and pull the radio. Now, just like the dash bezel, your radio is going to have various harnesses connected to it. Go ahead and disconnect everything. Perfect. There is our factory radio. Now we're going to take this radio over to the bench with us because we'll still need it for just a moment. Now before we totally abandon the car to head to the bench, you actually, in most circumstances, there is a factory amplifier in here, and it's easy to pull out. It's just right behind the radio because this harness plug is actually connected right into that factory amplifier, which we're not retaining. There's going to be 2 harnesses there. You can leave the factory amplifier installed and pull your harnesses up, or you can pull it on out. There's going to be 2 Phillips screws holding it in here in the back. We're going to get you in nice and close to show you that factory amplifier. So with the radio now removed, let's head to the bench to show you the parts that we're going to need for our install. Alright, so here at the bench, now the parts that we're going to use for our install, first and foremost, is just the radio provided to us by the customer. It's just this second-hand Kenwood CD, DVD, Bluetooth radio. It doesn't have Carplay or Android Auto, but we can certainly link an updated radio in the description in case you want those features. This unit's been since discontinued. Now to accommodate this double DIN in the dash, we need a bit of parts. Now you'll notice we don't have a dash kit here on the bench, because fortunately the factory radio is already a standard size double DIN, and we can use the brackets provided by the radio in order for us to install this new radio in that same position. If you're doing a single DIN or a float mount screen that has a single DIN chassis, you will need a dash bracket unless your Toyota came with a factory single DIN and factory pocket. If you have a double DIN going to a single DIN, we'll link that dash kit down in the description for you. Now most trims, if not all trims, of this generation 4runner will need the Metra 70-1761 wiring harness adapter. And this is a little added benefit. This is a little 1-foot USB flush mount adapter because the USB input on the radio is on the back of the unit, and we're going to relocate it to one of the power sockets there in the dash bezel. So what we're going to do is grab the harness that came with the radio and our new harness adapter, which is going to plug into the factory OEM plugs that was in the original amplifier. And we're going to match those colors up. Today we're going to be soldering color for color, but if you don't know how to solder, don't have the means to do so, we recommend either using butt connectors or even better crimp caps. Just don't twist and tape or use even worse wire nuts. It's just not designed for an automotive application. Alright, so we went ahead and soldered our connections there. Now we're moving our heat shrink up and over those connections. We're going to shrink them down with the heat gun. And then we like to just protect our harness a little bit more in the dash, so we use some high temperature Tesa tape. We also left out an extra power and ground, a red and a black wire, and we just teed it in here for a backup camera, which we're doing in a separate video. Alright, so we finished our harnesses here. This end plugs into the radio, this end plugs into the vehicle. We have our parking brake off here that connects separately outside the harness. We have our power and ground for a backup camera. And we also have a remote turn on wire in case we had an amp down the road. And we'll zip tie this all nice and clean once we get it all installed. If you want to see how we do the backup camera, we'll link that video in the description. Put that off to the side. We have our aftermarket radio and our factory radio. Now what we're going to do is actually utilize these factory middle brackets and move them over to our aftermarket one. You can use an 8mm socket to pull that off, or a Phillips. Just don't strip them out. And then we'll move the bracket and put it in an identical position on our aftermarket radio. Now we have our dash bezel here, and we want to pop one of these two. I mean, you have 3 power sockets here. These are for power point axes, and this is for a cigarette lighter. So you can pick one of the 3. We're going to do one of the 2 down below to replace one of the power sockets with our USB flush mount adapter. Now these adapters come in a wide range of different configurations. 1 foot, 3 foot, 6 feet. Also have single USB, dual USB, USB and aux, dual USB and HDMI, HDMI and USB. It just really depends on your application and what type of radio you're looking to use. So we can link various versions of this in the description. Alright, so we went ahead and popped one of our power sockets out, and we put ours in. We put some hot glue to hold it in with the nut in place, and we opted for the aux USB version because our unit does have an aux Navy input, which is accessible through a 3.5mm jack, and then this USB obviously will go to the USB of the radio. Alright, so with our radio, let's go ahead and grab our harness adapter. Now we'll plug it into the harnesses that were originally in the factory amplifier that we removed. Those plug in here. Don't forget your antenna adapter. Plug in your antenna. Now we're going to grab our main harness and connect that into our harness input. We ran our Bluetooth mic to the top of the steering column. So at this point we've gotten all our connections needed. So let's go ahead and seat our radio into the dash. Okay, now it's always a good idea to test everything to ensure it's working properly. Okay, everything's working great, so let's go ahead at this point of time and finish reassembling the radio. Alright, so everything's booted up here. It's all working good. We just have to wipe down the dash, but there's our USB aux there. Goes to the back of the radio. At this point of time, that finishes up this install for the radio. If you have any questions on what we did here, go ahead and post a comment below. And like mentioned before, we can link our recommended radios down in the description for you, along with all the parts needed for your install. Now, we also did a backup camera, so if you want to see that backup camera video, we'll link that video in the description and all the parts there, in case you want to add a camera to your new double din. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to hit the like button if you liked what you saw, and don't forget to subscribe. We post great content on the channel all the time. We'll see you in the next video.